Hey there, Mercedes here from PrettyWebz.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make this sweet chocolate text effect inside of Photoshop. So let's get started. Okay, we're starting here with a 1920 by 1080 document. This one is for the web, 72 resolution. And we're going to start off by setting up our foreground and background colors. We're just going to set up a base background for the text. So the first thing we're going to do is set up our foreground color, which is going to be F9 BFBF. So it's like a light pink color. And now we'll set up the background. Just go ahead and click on that background. And for the background, we have a similar color to the foreground. We're just going to be making a simple spotlight effect. So this one is F9 A6 A7. So click OK. And now that we have that, let me go ahead and get rid of these brushes. So now that we have that, I'm going to unlock my background and I'm going to come over here to the gradient tool. And I am using the foreground background that's going to be on your defaults inside of Photoshop. So it's going to be that first one. I'm just going to take that and drag it out to one corner. I'm just looking for a very subtle spotlight for this. We're going to go ahead and add a pattern to this. So I'm going to double click right here on the far right hand side to bring up my patterns. And I'm going to select this pattern overlay. We're going to come here to legacy patterns and more. If you do not have this installed yet and you're in 2020, you're going to come over here to window patterns, and this is going to open up right here, and then you'll just come to this little hamburger menu and select legacy patterns and more. For everyone else, if you don't have your legacy patterns installed, you're going to actually come here and then you'll see a big list right here of all of these legacy patterns here. So anything before 2020, you'll do it this way. After 2020, you're going to have to come up here to grab your patterns and install them from a window up top. We're going to come in here to legacy patterns and more. We're coming to legacy patterns, and from here we're going to be choosing colored paper. So go ahead and open that one up. We're going to be choosing this one right here. It's called Gray Vellum. So go ahead and choose that. From here, all we're going to do is change our blend mode here to overlay so that we can see that background color. I'm going to scale this to 100% just to get thinner lines there. And I'm going to click OK. So that's pretty much it for the background. I'm going to go ahead and add our text layer next. I'm going to come over here to the text tool. And I'm just going to type out the word sweet. The color doesn't really matter at this point. We're going to come over here to our character panel. For our character settings, we're using a font called Vanity, and inside of Vanity we're using a bold narrow. The size of this font is going to be pretty big because our canvas is pretty big, so we're going to go 1100 pixels for that one. And we're not really going to change anything else. Everything else can pretty much stay the same. Alright, from here we're going to go ahead and press the letter V on the keyboard to get those anchor points up, and we're just going to drag this down. We're going to try to find the center. So right there is fine. Make sure that this is selected. Double click on the far right hand side of the layer just to bring up the layer styles. And we're going to start with the bevel and emboss. For this bevel and emboss layer, our settings are going to be inner bevel, technique smooth, depth 100%, direction is up. Size is 8 pixels. Soften is 0, and our shading is angled at 120 degrees. Our altitude is 30. We're using just a basic linear contour. Highlight mode is screen, and we're using basic white, opacity 70%. Shadow mode multiply, basic black, opacity 70%. Now we can move on to our texture. So we're going to stay right here inside of bevel and emboss, and we're going to choose texture. So for this one, I'm going to show you two different types of texture. So we're going to come here and we're going to choose a pattern. So we'll come in here, legacy patterns and more, legacy patterns, and then we're going to come down to patterns. We're going to be using two different styles here. The first one is the one that's already in here. It is called satin. And then the second one is called zebra. So I'm going to show you settings for both of these, but I'm going to start here with the satin. And for the satin, we're going to go ahead and scale this to 200%, and our depth is going to be 25%. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and add a color overlay. So go ahead and check on color overlay. So I already have a color set in there. This is a dark chocolate that I was using. I'm actually going to be doing a milk chocolate color for this one. So that color is going to be 884015. So it's just going to be a lighter chocolate color. I'm going to click OK. Our opacity is going to be 100%. Now we're going to go ahead and add a drop shadow to this. For the drop shadow, our blend mode is going to be multiply, and we're using just a basic black. Opacity is going to be 75%. We're keeping our angle at 120. Our distance is going to be 6. And our size is going to be 7. We're using basic linear contour, and that's pretty much it for this layer style. I'm going to click OK just so you can take a look at that. Before I show you the second text effect, I want to show you some resources that I'm going to be giving you. So I'm going to go ahead and show you this before we continue with anything else. I'll go ahead and leave a link to where you can get these. And they're basically just layer styles. They have all of the colors already set here. And I also have some like cream candy styles as well. So basically they're the same two styles, and I've colored them in different colors. I'm going to show you in a little bit how I created these ones, because the colors for these colored ones is going to be a little bit different than these. If you want to go ahead and download these from my website, you can definitely do that, or just make them on your own. But I'll show you how to get these colors as well. And then these two right here are from a free download that I have on my website already. It's a foil download. You can also create this on your own. I have a tutorial on how to create this, and I'll go ahead and leave a link up right now. But I've also created a layer style with these, and I'm going to go ahead and use that here in a little bit to show you how you can use this with the chocolate to make kind of a little decorative look. So with this set, you're also going to get some brushes. This one is going to come with 4 brushes. We have these foil scatter brushes, and I'm going to show you those here in a little bit. And then also, let me turn that off. We have the color palettes as well. So you have everything from dark chocolate, milk chocolate, all the way up to white chocolate here. And then you have all of the cream candy colors right here. So all of these styles, you're going to get the exact colors with those swatches, and the swatches you can get on the website, or you can make all of this on your own. Like I said, I'm teaching you everything here that you need to know to make this anyway, but you know, it's just a convenient resource to be aware of. So I'm going to go ahead and go back here to the chocolate text effect that we're working on, and I'm going to come back into the text effects because I want to show you the other style. So if you wanted to save these as a layer style, I'm going to double click here. And once you have all of the settings in here, all you'd have to do is come here and click New Layer Style, name your layer, and click OK. So we're going to call this Style 1, click OK. OK again, and then we're going to come into our FX button. These are our layer styles, and you can see that it's been added. So it's pretty easy just to make this on your own if you want to do it that way. Let's go in one more time, and I'm going to show you that other texture. So we're going to come here to bevel and emboss, and here we're coming to texture, and we're going to use that zebra texture, which is this one right here. And again, it's in that same spot. We're at legacy patterns, and then we're using patterns, and it's going to be this one, the 4th one over. For this one, our settings are going to be the scale we're going to set to 75%, and our depth we're going to set to 20. So that's going to be our second texture. Of course, you can always bring this up or down depending on the size of your text. And then once you have that there, so I had it at 75, all you'd have to do is come over here to New Style and create your style. So you can do all of that definitely on your own. So I'm going to click OK. Next, I want to show you how I created the colored cream candy. So I'm going to come back up to the effects, and I'm just going to choose I don't know, I'll choose this purple here. For this one, I just want to show you the differences that I have here. So I'm going to come back in here to the layer styles. All of this stuff is pretty much all the same except, so we've got that same texture. We've got an inner glow that we didn't have before. We have, and then, you know, the color overlays. So basically it's just the colors and then an inner glow that we're adding here. So let's come over here to bevel and emboss, and you can kind of see our, you know, our highlight. So basically a really light purple, a darker color shadow here. And then we've got an inner glow, a purple colored inner glow. And then we changed our color overlay here to this purple color as well. I wanted you to get the gist of how you would create this cream candy style, because it is a little bit different than how we created the chocolate. Not much different, it's just a matter of shading, but I thought maybe you'd be interested in how that was done as well. So I'm going to click OK. Okay, so next what I want to do is show you the foil layer style. So this one is going to be completely optional. It's just to add a little finishing touch. I'm going to add another layer here, and I want to show you the brushes quickly. Like I mentioned before, these brushes are going to be part of the kit that's going to be available on my website. So we have 4 brushes here. This is the foil scatter, 16 pixels, which is something, you know, pretty small. And then you have that same scatter that's 50 pixels, so it's a lot bigger. And then you have these ones, the foil 16. This is just a basic, simple foil. And then you have this one. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those. And we're going to use the scatter foil, this large 50 pixel one. And maybe scatter some of that across the top. And then you can add this smaller one. So I'm going to use that smaller one, but I'm going to add it on a new layer. So we have this one right here, and then we're adding a new layer right now. I'm going to come back to my brushes. I'm using that scatter foil 16. This is the smaller brush. And I'm going to mix that in with the bigger pieces of foil. And then once you have these 2 layers right here, we're going to bring back our layer styles. So we're going to use that large foil there on that layer, and then for this layer we're going to add that smaller one. This foil comes in really handy when you're trying to create balance in your design. If you need that something extra, then you always have something like this to help you create balance. If you like these types of text effects, I have a growing playlist available here on YouTube. And that's going to be up on the screen right now, so you can go ahead and check out some of the videos in that playlist. If you like this video, make sure to like and share it. And if you don't want to miss any tutorials from this channel, make sure to subscribe, click the bell notification, and visit PrettyWebz.com for more design resources and tutorials. Until next time, thanks for watching.